Did you yell? Let's not deal with that. Hunting behavior of feral canids. Kane Van Acker. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. We'll read that probably in editing. Probably not. I'm just not going to pay attention to it. I don't want to fight that. I'm not interested in fighting that. I do want to walk through the giant dandelions, though. I want to tiptoe through the tulips. Okay. I see. Now, I could just walk up into a fight. Or, I can be very me about things. Ah! Okay. Oh, well, looks like I'm gonna walk into a fight here. Or am I? Tee-hee. Okay, listen. Game? Alright, not allowed to do the things I want to in this game. This game sucks. Not gonna let me climb some rocks? Ah. Well then. Looks like I'm gonna have to do things the old me way. Just try to sneak up quietly. Horribly do so. And then fight things after I weaken them from far away.
Okay, keep it quiet.
I'm just not doing damage. Well, this is not going well. Okay, that worked out. That's actually the last thing I wanted to do, to be honest. Someone came out at me. Found her. I smacked her in the face pretty hard. Marauder hideout discovered. Fun times barrel. I don't know what that does, but I have it. This just feels like Skyrim now. Kill things in the cave, get the big chest at the end of the cave, leave the cave. All done. Alright. Moving on, I guess. I now have all the fingers. The fingers are mine. Alright, so illustrated manual, return to the vicar, turn in, turn in, turn in, turn in, retrieve a logic module, which means fighting some of these things down here. This is gonna hurt. It hurt a lot, actually. Do it again. Got some combat drones.
I've always wanted to poke around in here.
Well, guess what we're gonna do? A whole lot more than poking. Oh, hold on. Aren't I supposed to talk to, camped out in the Bhutan, north of Edgewater. And I'm supposed to go over here. Shit. I've been crisscrossing all over the thing. I did have a plan to just do everything in a circle, but it marks one thing at a time. So far, my major gripe is that I wish I could have more than one marker on the, more than one quest line marker out here. Also, I wish it was easier to navigate. It seems like there's all kinds of ways to navigate through here. I just had the same problem I have with Cyberpunk. Now, I think it's just because I'm lazy about it. I saw something about a marauder over there. Botanical lab. Well.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Hello, Grace.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind. Well, look at you, buzzing around the aether with your very own ship. Rest of us gotta make do with the ground at our feet. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Oh shit, wrong one. I fucked up. I fucked up again.
What is it? Yeah, Zoe. I go looking for Zoe, I leave the camp undefended, seeing as I'm the only one of us who knows her way around a gun. Hence my dilemma. Thank the Eternal. Wait, Marauder camp. Is she all right? Getting along. What? Sitting around a campfire telling stories? You could bring her home, I'd be obliged. And if you could cross off some marauders on the way, I'd be much obliged. I'll tell you what I can. Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does. She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. What is it?
Okay. Got more side quests again. No, if you can... Yeah, there we go. I should probably go talk to Stefan. Wherever he is. This isn't a botanical lab. This is just a completely other place. Hello?
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions. Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her.
Okay.
Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd. Hey, I got time.
Oops.
I'll help if I can. The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Not much of a chance, no. Mind if I ask why you're interested? Zoe's living with marauders? Yeah, that sounds like the sort of sideways, sprat-brained plan Zoe'd come up with. Yeah, could be you're telling the truth. Or maybe you're trying to wheedle me into relinquishing my only copy of The Masked Marketeer. It's a collector's edition after all.
Oh, yeah? We'll go with the, persuade.
Yeah, you're probably right. A true fan would have displayed a gleam in their eye upon hearing the words collector's edition. Here you go, latest copy of The Masked Marketeer. Tell Zoe we're all waiting on her.
Okay. I imagine you have stuff to steal. As is tradition. I go in your house, I take your belongings, I leave. Is it stealing if I'm going to get them to leave anyway? I don't think so. What is this? Zoe's journal, so that's it then. No more Edgewater for me, no more cannery, no more jumpsuits and gloves, yes ma'ams, and would you like another's. I don't know why I'm writing this down for posterity's sake, but because I've always hated the cannery, and I don't think I'll ever have to look back to this journal many years hence and tell myself, oh well, I did hate the veil once, didn't I? Just because I got sick, everybody gets sick. Well, okay, I got sick and grabbed a little too much adrenatime. Is that really a crime? I gotta treat myself when I'm sick, don't I? Whatever happened to personal responsibility surviving by one owns bootstraps? Oh, but you misappropriate one box of adrenatime, and suddenly you're committing larceny. Eh. Was it yours? And technically, yes, it is larceny. But you are stealing medicine. I don't know. Well, today's the day, Zoe. Today is the day you take your destiny into your own hands. I've been listening to Grace talk about the Marauder threat. Bands of wild, free-spirited bandits living in camps out in the hills, warming themselves by the light of barrel fires. Probably mounted the heads of their enemies on spikes as a warning to folk like me. Living a life of comfort and ease, free of any rules. I bet they could take the whole region if they were organized. I've been tucking away some of Adelaide's food, and I have some spare cans of salt tuna. Should last me a couple weeks if I ration. Got some adrenatime too. Everybody loves adrenatime, even marauders, right? I got odds those marauders will let me throw in with them if I dangle a couple of syringes of adrenatime before their eyes. This is gonna be great. Look out, Terra 2. The Bandit Queen Zoe's origin story has just begun. I'm gonna have a whole gang of marauders at my beck and call. Maybe I can even score some Rizzos. Maybe? Maybe not. Alright, before I head back there, I would like to just talk to the lady for the main quest. Okay, this place is up and running. It's going pretty good, too. Personal files. Hack. Silent Spring. Welcome, A. McDevitt. Okay. First entry. Eternal Bliss. Bless my first endeavor. 2 days since I walked away from life at Edgewater Cannery. Fortuitously, the old botanical labs are still operational. Mostly. So, the soil's sour. I'll do what I can, but I'm going to need some powerful fertilizer. Taste of salt tuna lingering on my tongue day in, day out. Want something fresh. Okay. Found another worker from Edgewater, ex-worker now. Desertion rates must be climbing. I'm not terribly surprised. Reed's style of management has always been tyrannical. I imagine an exodus is brewing. At any rate, the worker was in a sorry state. Fever, shallow breathing, delirious, must have been plagued. Set him right with a diet of greens. He was all better in a couple weeks. Physically, spiritually, he's one of our flock now. Okay. Experimental notes. I'm hereby repurposing this botanical lab from its original conception as a gear in the soulless automation of the corporate machine. This greenhouse may look impressive, but like all Spacer's choice products, it is cheap and unreliable. I shall have to make some repairs with my own two hands. This place shall become a nursery. Before it was abandoned, I understand the horticulturalists failed to produce a single viable crop, something about the soil being too poor. I am determined to find a way. For living things as sensitive to the environment as a breathing, thinking body, I contend that the crops in this region failed because the corporate scientists tending them are cold, heartless, inhumane people, acting on behalf of a sterile and inhumane power. One cannot expect your crops to flush with green. Your crops to flush with green. Okay, your crops to flush with green and reach for the sky under these conditions. The soil is sour, it's true. I don't know quite how to explain that. I'm sure the scienticians will say something about biology or the carbon cycle. But I can conclude after months of my own experimentation that the secret to a rich and wholesome garden is love, attention, compassion, and a natural fertilizer bursting with organic material, just as nature intended. So we're collecting poo. Right. Let's just be candid here. We are collecting turds. I think you're the person to talk to.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, hello, Adelaide.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
2.
Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
This is serious.
You're doing this for Reed? Why?
Power regulator.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
Don't you do that to me.
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
I don't like you throwing that in her face.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear. It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.